So let me ask you something. What does this book, this book, and this book have in common? Well, it's really simple, actually. You can look at them closer and realize that they're useless. Second edition, garbage. Sixth edition, N10-007, garbage. 220901 and 902. Complete and utter waste of time. Let me tell you why this is. Okay? From this one right here, we'll start off with it. This one, you just go in, past the index, you go straight through the introduction to the very first page, Introduction to Troubleshooting, okay? And this says there is a 6-step process here to troubleshooting. And let me tell you, that is wrong. What page number is this? 10. So look at how big this book is. If the first page of the first chapter is already wrong, it's probably useless. Or it's going to teach you bad habits that you otherwise should not do. Okay? And that's the thing about technology. If you don't have the most recent resource, you're teaching yourself bad habits. And in fact, even with the most recent resource, it is probably best practice to double check the information in it, because it probably has already changed if it's not already changing while you read the book. And that's just a fact. I'm not saying there aren't old resources of various books that are still useful in the tech sphere. Like I said, this one is useless, and that's a little bit harsh, I'll be honest, because this one does have relatively simple foundational information that will still be actually useful. Not a lot, because again, technology changes, hardware changes. And honestly, if you want to use this book, you need hardware, which is a lot cheaper now for the updated versions a lot of the time, but it's still expensive. And realistically, if you're doing anything with radio, at this point, you're probably using SDR, which this book doesn't really go over a lot. And yeah, so this is why it's so very important, though most people don't realize it, to have updated material when you're trying to learn anything in technology, unless it is the most foundational skill, the most basic of skill that most people who are into this thing that we call technology probably knew when they were 5 years old ripping a fridge apart or something similar, because a lot of people who are into tech and do things in tech, they just kind of naturally know some stuff. And it usually comes from years of experiments with various technology around them, whether it's ripping apart an RC car when they're a kid instead of playing with it, or whatever else, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, so if you're into tech, don't make the mistake of getting outdated materials. And if you're thinking about getting into tech and someone tells you, oh, you can just use the old version, I can promise you that is setting yourself up for failure. And this has been my time. Thank you.